Hi friends, it's Jana.eubank. I'm back with another scrapbooking process video featuring the July 2025 kits from Hip Kit Club. This is the gorgeous Color Me Happy collection. I'm flipping through it a little bit here just so you can get a sense of its vibe. It is so much fun, and I was so happy when I received this kit because I couldn't wait to use this balloon bouquet metal die that coordinates with this collection. Look at how delicate those die cuts cut out. I just love it. I used some white cardstock to cut out several balloon bunches, and then I'm going to back them with the coordinating cardstock that was released in July 2025 as well. I love that Hip Kit Club always has a coordinating set of cardstock. I use it for double page layouts, I use it to mat up my photos, and today I'm going to be using it to back these balloons of this balloon die. Now, I was so excited to see this balloon die with this kit because I have this photo of my son where he was asking his girlfriend to prom using the Up theme, you know, the movie Up with the balloons in the little house. Well, I hadn't scrapbooked it yet, even though this happened several years ago, and I just knew that this balloon die would be perfect. Now, instead of cutting a little piece out of each of the different cardstocks, I opted to use the cover sheet that came with the cardstock where it has the printed color sample of each of those on the cover. So I went ahead and backed the balloons with all of those colors, and I love the way that those turned out. Now I'm headed back to the pattern paper, and I'm going to build up my background to get it ready for my photo. I decided to use this black and white striped edge or paper as a frame around this aqua diamond paper. The black and white stripe is called Daydreaming, and then the aqua diamonds is called Feeling Creative. So I did gut the center of that Daydreaming paper so that I could use it to map my photo as well. Now, before I start adding my photo, I did take this to my sewing machine and I just machine stitched around the edge with some black thread. My son is wearing black in the photo, and then of course that black and white stripe is in the paper, and I just felt like that added some definition. Next, I'm going back to the pattern paper, and I just love these cute little cameras. The pattern paper is always one of my favorite products. So I definitely like to add lots of pattern paper to my projects. So I definitely wanted to add this colorful camera paper in a strip across here. And I love that the colors mimic the colors in my balloon bunches and repeat that. To cap off the bottom of that strip of camera paper, I'm going to grab the branding strip from the Mango Ice cardstock from the Cardstock kit. And that will be a nice ledge for my photo and other elements to sit on. Next, I'm heading back to the pattern paper, and I'm going to grab this green bubble wrap type pattern, and this paper is called Party Trick. I'm using an old school tool, these circle templates from forever ago that I've had in my stash for forever, to cut out some circles. You could use a plate, you could use, some bowls from your cupboard, whatever works, but I just keep pulling out this old circle tool even though I have a million other tools in my stash and it worked just fine. Now, to repeat that machine stitching, I also machine stitched around the edges of these circles as well, and then I'm distressing them with an edge distressing tool. Now I'm ready to start laying everything down on my background, and I'll go ahead and use a grid ruler to keep everything straight. So I'll start by placing that branding strip, and then I'll work off of that and place my other pieces. I'm using a flat tape adhesive to adhere the circles and the strips to my background, but I will use some 1mm foam squares to give a little bit of dimension to those balloon bouquets. Now, as I add those, I am tucking them in between the layers of my photo mat, and so I don't add foam squares across the entire back of the balloon bouquet. I just do it on the edges that are peeking out of the photos. That way the balloon kind of can tuck in flat behind the photo and it's not lifting it up. So that's just a quick tip for you. The next thing I'm going to pull out from this kit is another one of my favorite items from the July kits, and that is the Vellum stickers. Oh my gosh, there's 3 different sheets. Now, there is a set of flowers, there's a set of these mixed media splotches, and then there's another set of alphabet stickers. The alphabet stickers are not Vellum, but the first 2 sheets are, and I was so excited to use these. I love a mixed media look, but admittedly, I'm not great at it. It's fun to experiment, but I never know how it's going to turn out on a colored paper or colored background like I am doing here. And since I do a lot of pattern paper in my projects, sometimes I shy away from using mixed media. But these Vellum stickers made it super easy, super fun. I just went through them, picked out the little splotches and things that I thought would look cute and tucked them in around my photo. Now, one thing I wish I would have done is cut them in half, because then I could have used them in 2 different places as I'm tucking them around this photo. But I didn't think about it, and that's okay. I just wish I would have saved them so I had them to use on another project. So if you haven't used yours yet, definitely, if you're tucking them behind something else, cut them in half so you can use them in several places. The next thing I'm doing is going over to the die cuts. Oh, I love the die cuts in the Hip Kit clubs and kits. There's these beautiful chipboard ones, and I was drawn to these, but of course there's always the cardstock die cuts as well. So I'm going to mostly use the chipboard die cuts today. I love the dimension that they add, and I picked out this little phrase that says, "Let's make some new memories." I thought that would be really fun for my son's photo of asking his girlfriend to prom, because they've been dating for a while and prom would be a new memory. I also picked out that little hanging sign. I thought that would look cute below the balloons, and that is also going to be where I'm going to add my title. Next, I went over to the cardstock die cuts. I found that adorable pink arrow, so I tucked that in there to call attention to my title spot. I will also add some journaling there later. And then I'm going to the journal die cuts, and I'm bringing in some labels, and then I'm bouncing back over to the chipboard pieces and cardstock die cuts, and I'm going to bring in that chipboard circle that says "Let's Go" in that aqua color. That will tie it in with the aqua background, and then that "Be Bold" speech bubble, so that I tucked in there. I'm also going to bring in that phrase that says "You color my world," and again, that colorful little phrase down there is going to repeat the colorful balloons, and I really like the way that looks. I felt like this little empty corner on my photo needed a little something something, so I went to the cardstock die cuts. I think those are the journal die cuts, and found these little banner pieces, and I just stapled those to the top left corner of my photo using a number 10 stapler. I really love the way that this layout is looking, but I felt like I might need something in this corner. I don't know. It felt a little out of balance to me, or like that top left corner was a little naked. So I'm kind of playing with this pink tag or some other journal elements to see if I could overlap it or have it coming in off of the edge. So I kind of set that there. I'm not sure if I'm going to use that, so I just set it there. And then I'm going over to the Puffy stickers right now and adding in or sprinkling in a few of these puffy little dots around 3 areas of my page. It kind of helps that mixed media vellum stickers to feel a little dimensional with those puffy dots, and I like that. I'm still thinking about that pink tag in the top left corner, and so I set that aside, and in the meantime, I'm going to go to the Pocket Life stamp set, and I'm going to stamp in a few of these ink splatters. I love that little ink splatter that is on that stamp set, and it perfectly rounded out the little dot clusters that I'd done with the puffy stickers. So here's where I'm trying on that pink tag in the upper left corner. I tie a black twine bow on it, and it looks okay, but I feel like that black twine bow is kind of pulling focus away from my photo. So I decided to experiment with some other tags. I found this colorful striped tag in the Pocket Life cut aparts, and I love the way that looks. It repeats the colors of the camera paper as well as the balloons, and so I'm going to do that at the top of the page. Now this time, instead of tying a bow with the black twine, I decided to do something a little more subtle, and I just wrapped it a few times and tied a knot. I also grabbed some ticket die cuts from the cardstock die cuts, and I stapled those with my number 10 stapler, and then I'm going to layer those on top of that tag at the top of the page just to give it some more definition and weight and interest, of course. My last step is I'm going to stamp this happy word from the Pocket Life stamps onto that chipboard sign piece, and that will act as my title. Now, I'm using some Stays-On ink, which works well with the glossy nature of these chipboard pieces, and the first time I stamped it, I didn't quite get it perfect. But the great thing about clear stamps is you can just line it up again and press a little firmer, and it worked out this time. So that will complete my page. This is the July 2025 kits from Hip Kit Club, the Color Me Happy collection. It's shipping now and is available now. Pretty soon the August kits will be shipping as well, so be sure to check those out. All right, I'm Jana.eubank for Hip Kit Club. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.